us now on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline is BYU Volleyball assistant coach Jaylen Reyes.
Jaylen!
Live from Los Angeles. Jaylen, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
What are your emotions like right now, knowing that it's, yes, the Final Four, and you want to obviously get to the national championship match, but you've got exciting news and an exciting future for yourself headed to Nebraska. So how are you balancing all of this right now, Jaylen?
To be honest, I'm all in on trying to win tonight. So I haven't really even been thinking about the whole Nebraska thing. I know it's exciting. I'm having to figure out some other things on the side for that. But people have been asking me, when do you leave? And I kind of forget what they're talking about because I'm so kind of invested in what's going on down here in Los Angeles this weekend.
Jaylen, what's this like for you? Because you played in a couple of these as a player. You've been an assistant coach on two of these teams. Now it's a third in a row. How is this experience maybe different than the previous four for you in the NCAA tournament?
I think it's a little surreal. I know it's going to be my last time, with BYU as, in this current state. I've been there. This is my 5th time to the Final Four, which is kind of cool in 7 years. This group of guys, these are the last, Leo, Sykes, Rupert, Brendan, Price. They're the last guys that I were teammates with that are on the team, so it's kind of cool that they get to go out with, their third straight Final Four. And then just, the emotion of this is, we're going to go and play, potentially we're going to play UCLA tonight, and potentially we could play Long Beach State or Ohio State. I think the 4 best teams are in the Final Four, which is really cool. And we get to do it at a big-time venue for men's volleyball, Poly Pavilion, and, the site of BYU's first national championship. So it's kind of cool. Kind of cool how it all worked out, and just, looking to take in this experience and, hopefully we can end up on top on Saturday.
How would you explain the dynamic between BYU and UCLA, which have a long-standing rivalry in this sport?
Yeah, I think, from talking to guys who played in it, maybe in the early 90s, the early 2000s, I think there was a little bit of, I would say, resentment. But I think, throughout the years, I work with a couple of the UCLA guys in the summer times, and there's a good mutual respect for one another. I think we compete with each other, not just on the court, but for troops in the summertime. And, we kind of use each other as the measuring stick, I would say. We definitely use them as a measuring stick, and I would definitely say they probably use us as a measuring stick in terms of where they're at program-wise. So, of course, we're going to dance with them one more time to see who's going to go to the final. So I think we're both excited. We're both a little bummed we have to play each other in the semis, but we're both really looking forward to it tonight.
Yeah, I would have liked a BYU Ohio State rematch, not in the Eastern time zone. That would have been nice. Perhaps there's one Saturday. We shall see. This is the 4th meeting with UCLA. You played them 3 times. The one loss was at Poly Pavilion, where you're playing tonight, but you had locked up the 1 seed. So I think the context was different there, whether that's real or not. What's going into the game plan tonight that maybe is different than you had, or is there anything different because you've won twice?
I don't think there's a ton different that we want to do, and I don't know, I'm not on their side, but I don't think there's a ton different they want to do. I think it's just, can we execute, what we want to do, and, obviously what you want to do is taking away some of the other things the other team wants to do. So I don't think there's too much in terms of, X's and O's. I think it's just more, serving and passing, who can kind of dictate there, and, who can, dictate offensively to the other team. I think that's kind of where, we're trying to get at, and that's kind of where our focus has been the last couple of days when we're getting ready for UCLA.
It's always interesting the first time you do something. You want to soak in the experience and enjoy it from all levels. This is the 3rd straight time BYU Volleyball has been to the Final Four, and we all know that the goal is to win the national championship. So what type of attitude are your players taking into this, the 3rd consecutive Final Four appearance?
I think the attitude is just what, every match this season was the same. It's kind of a stepping stone to being good in May, and, now we're in May, and, this tonight hopefully is a stepping stone to Saturday, so we need to make sure we don't, we're trying to treat this as any normal game. Of course, everyone knows that it's not, but at the end of the day, once, you're going to have a couple of more exciting introductions in the beginning, but once the first serve, is served. It's just a normal volleyball game after that.
How much of a home court advantage do you expect UCLA to have in this situation where it's generally kind of neutral? Last year, obviously not at Ohio State. You're used to this, but how much home court do you expect for UCLA tonight?
I think it is an advantage to play in your home gym, you know. So I don't know in terms of fan support. I know we're going to have a lot of people, a lot of BYU fans coming to the game at the 7:30 Pacific time start. Definitely helps with that. But, you know, I don't know. I think it's going to be an advantage for them. But, you know, we're excited and we're excited for the opportunity.
Jaylen Reyes, assistant coach for BYU men's volleyball, with us live on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline, preparing for the Final Four matchup against UCLA tonight. It's hard not to notice what the seniors on this team have meant to BYU volleyball, notably Leo Durkin, Price Jarman, and Brendan Sander. What does that trio mean to the success of the current season?
Yeah, I mean, I think after tonight, they're going to be the only three, I believe, to start in 3 Final Fours. I'm talking Ryan Millar didn't do that. Ozzie Antonetti, I don't believe he did that. Lucas Shawn, even older brother Taylor Sander didn't do that. You know, so I think they've definitely left their mark on this program in terms of, I would say, being 3 of the greatest players to ever play here. You know, so hopefully we can send them out and they can send themselves out the right way.
Absolutely. That's an incredible accomplishment for those 3 tonight. BYU's been really good at serving the ball at sea level. You talked about how important that how that is played. Do you expect that to be a major factor in the match tonight?
I think that's going to be the biggest factor in terms of what team can serve and keep the other team off the net. You know, if we can serve them off the net, you know, I think we did a little bit better job of that in Provo the 2 times we played, and they did a really good job serving us off the net when we played down here. So I think that's going to be, you know, I don't think it's going to be the single deciding factor, but it's going to be a huge, you know, dictator in terms of, you know, being able to win the game. I think serving, you know, in terms of like football X's and O's, being able to serve the other team off the net is like having a defensive end that can always get to the quarterback. It like really doesn't matter if you have the best quarterback in the world. If your defensive end are always on top of the quarterback, usually you're going to be in good shape. So it's kind of like that, you know. So if we can keep them off the net, I think we're going to be fine.
Last night was the AVCA banquet. For a 2-part question. First, how was the food?
It was really, really good. I think it was like the Newport Rib Company, if you guys are ever down in Newport Beach.
Whoa, okay.
Definitely suggest that.
Okay, second question. Mickey Jauhiainen won the Elite 90, which is the highest GPA of any of the teams in the tournament. He has a 4.0. That's awesome, man. He's not even he's Finnish, like it's school in another language.
Oh yeah. And the most impressive thing is he got a 4.0. He got a 4.0 and he got an A in the fall semester on in American Heritage. And whoever's gone to BYU, that's like, if you get an A in American Heritage, you should probably just get your degree right there. and it's funny because all the other kids on the team are like, the Finnish guy got an A in American Heritage, and we all got B's and C's. So
that's impressive.
Oh yeah,
Jaylen, you've got a 4.0 from us here in Studio B.
Thank you.
Your teachers may not have agreed with that when you were here, but to us, you have one.
Definitely not.
Jaylen, great stuff, man. We appreciate you taking time with us on game day. Let's give you some BYU Sports Nation karma for that Final Four matchup tonight. We cannot wait.
Thanks, fellas.
You got it. Jaylen Reyes on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.